started.
Okay, Ellen from Norway. All right, Ellen. Let's see, how about a French defense? I played a Sicilian recently and a center counter. F4 against the French. I don't know about that. I'll just go ahead and play like it's an advanced French. It's probably transposed into some line, yeah, with the knight here supporting the center. It's probably okay way to play. Now, what do I want to do? Maybe get my knight out. I wonder how stable the knight is on f5. He can play g4 at any time to kick it, so maybe I just want to play. Well, let's take here first, just so I have an open line and a target on d4. And then I play this move h5 so I can put my knight on f5, and this will keep it more secure there. Let's see. He's got a lot of space here, but he does have one bad bishop here. He could bring the bishop out with this kind of route maybe. But I'm just going to play knight to f5. Yeah, is he going to take the knight there? Give up his good bishop in order to double my pawns? I don't know. He did. I suppose I should say she did, since the name Ellen might indicate a female person. So I have funny looking pawns on my king side, but I have the bishop pair. Maybe I want to castle queen side. Possibly. I think I'll just play bishop to e6 and then maybe play f6 later. Try and undermine the center a bit. I'm wondering about the moves a5, b5, b4. Or maybe, no, just b5, b4 directly. Because there's nothing stopping b5, and the pawn, or the bishop and the knight support the move b4. Okay, so now let's think about this. If I play a5 and then b4 takes, I take, exchange rooks. Then the bishop has to move, and then I can go after this pawn. Yeah, maybe it's a way to play. He gets a move here where he could develop a knight, castle, or play queen d2, maybe try and put some pressure on this diagonal. But I guess queen d2 doesn't work. That traps the bishop. So scratch that idea. Of course, I'm being a bit reckless here, opening things up before I've castled, but I can quickly develop this bishop and castle if need be. And maybe the king is safer in the center at the moment with these pawns in the center. In the endgame, I'm going to want my king here to try and hold them back, I think. Okay, just there. So is it planned to push past with a4 or to exchange? Oh, neither. To drop the bishop back. Okay. Well, I've got a pawn on b4, and his bishop has a good square on b2. So what now? If I take on a3, what does he play? I mean, I'm thinking this gives me the square for the bishop here. For example, if he takes with the knight. He doesn't want to take with the rook, obviously, because that loses the exchange. So taking back would be either with the knight or the bishop. Yeah, so if he takes with the bishop, I could use the square b4 for my knight. Now if there's an exchange, I get the bishop on b4. And the knight maybe has some sensitive squares in here. The knight could go to c2 here with a little help from maybe a rook or a queen. So he castles. Yeah, let's just do that. Rook c8. So he's going to allow knight to c2. He's got a queen check here. Pawn is defended. After knight c2, bishop takes. I can take the rook. So knight c2, it'll be rook moves. Knight takes bishop, knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, rook takes knight. Not that great. Maybe, is there a way to increase the pressure first? Just leave this set up here. Now knight c2 would actually threaten the rook and the pawn. This bishop seems like it's underutilized. It's just sitting there like a big pawn. I don't have any immediate plan to activate it. I guess it could go here and out this way. Yeah, that looks like an idea, because on b5 there it skewers the queen and the rook. And I guess the danger is I'm dropping e4. So if I play, d4, d5. Okay, just putting a rook there. How does he take back? He takes back with the bishop. Maybe it's time to develop my bishop here and castle. Maybe I'm dropping a pawn. No, this pawn is not under attack. I'm sorry. d5 is not under attack. A momentary hallucination.
Check.
So bishop takes. If he attacks the pawn, then I can bring the bishop back. There's this danger he can exchange that knight off at any time, and then this guy will be undefended. Yeah, so now I need to go back and defend this guy. And that also covers this square b5. So queen here check. There could be a way for white to simplify if white chooses.
Check.
Yeah, I can't do anything other than take. Now, maybe I shouldn't castle here. Maybe I should just play king to d7. Try and activate it, head for an endgame. There's no light squared bishop to chase me off with this square, and this knight is several moves away from causing trouble. This knight could come into g5 and take off my light squared bishop, but that's not a great piece anyway. Now, let's think about this. If I put the rook here, he takes, I take with the king. There is 2 checks by the knight, here and here. But here I can trade, I guess. Or I could let the knight sit there. Yeah, I guess it's okay. I guess I could have thought of a knight maneuver here. Knight d3 hitting this pawn, but what else is it doing? Okay, so king d7, maybe a pawn to okay, there he goes with the with the knight maneuver. I want to be able to take back the knight, and if it lands here. And he can have my bishop if he wants it, for a knight, of course. So I could play. Oh, he takes it, okay. h4 and then knight e3. But knight e3 allows him to trade bishops. My bishop, I think, is better than his bishop, so probably I don't want to move the knight, but I should find some other idea with this bishop. Maybe a direct pawn to g4, g5. He takes, I take, then I can come over here, check, and I can get some pressure on this guy. It's defended by his knight. Still, I think I want to get the bishop off of this diagonal at the moment, and that seems like one way to do it. Okay, what are White's ideas here? The knight can come into these squares, maybe here to here, here. It looks like here is really the only square for the knight. So after I move the bishop away, the knight can come in there, hitting these light squares. He decides to move away now. Okay, let's think about this. I can target this pawn immediately. But I like my idea of provoking this exchange and getting the bishop to this square. Now, if I push on with h5, he can take, I can take this way. If he takes this way, I take this way. If he does nothing, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. Yeah, just open up a little space for this bishop. So it can come out on this side of the board, harass his pieces over here. Yeah.
Check.
That's kind of interesting, an interesting choice. I thought maybe Ellen was thinking about taking back with the king there, but just taking back with the pawn is probably okay. So now the king has to come forward to defend this pawn, and that allows the bishop to come back in here. If the king went back to keep my bishop out of that square, then I would be able to attack this pawn. So it's something has got to give. It's a situation where something's got to give. Okay, so now it's a knight knight versus bishop endgame. Oh, let's back up. Oh no, I couldn't take the knight because bishop takes back. I was thinking, did I have an intermezzo there that I missed? So let's go here. So let's think about this. Bishop here, knight takes, pawn takes, king comes over, king up. I can't, yeah, it gets inside the square. That's too bad. So let's do it with the king moves. Bishop here, knight takes, pawn takes, king over is forced, king up. Now probably king over to round up the pawn, king up, and then he takes the pawn. Okay, so I need to start moving my king into the game first. Okay, now bishop here, knight takes, pawn takes, king over, king up, king takes. That's no good. Okay, so I have to go after these pawns. Yeah, that's the only move. I was going to say, can I attack from another angle?
Check.
No more checks. Ooh, that's annoying. I can get my bishop over here and attack from this angle. Yeah, if he starts going after my pawns, I have to go after his pawns. Okay, now I could go for this one. He pushes, I take, he pushes. Actually, that's queening, isn't it? Let's see. So maybe I need to maneuver the bishop here. So bishop, but where does the bishop go? 1, 2, 3, those are all covered. And here just blocked by the pawn. King up, pawn push. Okay, I can't take the knight because these pawns are too far advanced. King up, pawn push, king takes. Pawn push. I get out of the way. I'm just too far away. Okay, so bishop here, pawn push. Bishop takes, pawn push, bishop takes knight, and queen. Wow. This is a winning endgame for white. I wonder where I went wrong here. Okay, game over. Well, I will do a
Black
postmortem, see if I can
resigns.
figure out what went wrong, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.